Hello and welcome back to Shine Like a Diamond Initiative channel with me and our lovely Jenny. We're gonna dig in again with this communication skill because that's what we are talking about today. And through experience, Jenny is sharing with us most of the experiences that she went through. Some of them are good and some of them are bad, but we can all relate to that because, as we know, sometimes life is not very kind. So, Jenny, when Mitchell went to college, but this time we've gone through primary and now secondary, and now he's in college. Where was he at around that time? Had he blossomed yet, or we were still going through challenges with every change of staff and everything?
Yes, very much so. Because obviously he didn't know teachers, didn't know any other children that were coming in. He found it very difficult to interact with other children because they weren't the ones that he went to primary school with. And then because the teachers then said to him that we'll call you by first name terms, he found that a lot easier going in and saying to the teachers by name as opposed to Mr. and Mrs. or Miss. And he found that a lot easier. I had to then teach him that you can't just go to college and speak about things that he always spoke about, games or Yu-Gi-Oh cards that they were all into at the time, that he had to then learn how to speak to other children who would probably know more about sports and things. So he took it upon himself to go on YouTube, and he then decided that he'll learn about different sports so that he can talk to people about it. And then the same with any girls, he would, go on the computer and find out what girls were interested in, and he was able then to talk more to them.
Wow. So this is a young man who's come from primary, secondary, and went beyond his condition, and all of a sudden he's getting interested in girls. Were you scared at this point?
Yes, very much so.
Especially mummies with their boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the first time he had the first girlfriend, how was that?
The first real girlfriend that he had wasn't a very pleasant one. A girl from another town, and she really treated him not very nice. But Mitchell was so fascinated by her, couldn't see what she was really like. And she would come over and spend the weekend, but she wasn't a very pleasant girl who never washed. And the first time she came to my house, all she did was swear through drink, and I couldn't say to my son, like, this is not pleasant. Wouldn't listen to me.
Of course not.
So I had to just ride the storm, and hopefully one day he would basically find out what she was really like.
Yeah. Is it also, I think, is it also to do with the condition as well? Because we all know autistic people are so much into routine.
Yes.
So when he got with this girl, it was also something to do with the routine. He felt he needed her around and everything. So he couldn't really see beyond the behavior.
No.
But again, how did he get to that point where he decided, okay, this is not good for him?
Luckily for me, and I put the flags out for this, COVID hit. So obviously then he wasn't allowed, well, they couldn't see each other, but they would FaceTime each other. And through friends of his, he then found out that she was cheating on him with other guys that he knew. And I think Mitchell then realised that this person wasn't the person he thought she was.
It's quite difficult because it's like every corner he was taking, there was just, towards the end of it, something was just not good enough. And it's like as the same cycle, isn't it? Which is so hard for you as a parent to see, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It was just, as I say, trying to get a child to understand that, there are some nice people out there and there's also some nasty people.
Yeah. One thing I think we can learn through this experience with Jenny is, parents out there, let your child explore.
Yes.
Because within that, we all know how autistic people are smart and very intelligent. They might get into a routine and they might get into the repetitive part of things. But I think it gets to a point where they themselves, they can decide this is not right and this is wrong. So if we can imagine if Jenny was to say, no, you cannot see this child, this person, and they cannot come to the house, what will happen now is he would rebel against you, isn't it?
Yes.
But the fact that you opened that door, you allowed this lady in, despite, you were not happy about it, but that allowed the Mitchell to make his own decision. And in a way, you actually helped him, because decision making is another one we know we struggle with. So well done to you for doing that.
Thank you.
What happened after that?
Well, that's then took him a long time to get over, what she had done to him. And I think he was just too nice, as pleasant, he's well mannered, and couldn't understand that somebody could actually do something like that to him, being his first full-time girlfriend at the time. Yeah,
it's really difficult, isn't
very
it?
difficult.
And once he moved on from there,
well, he then met another girl through he had taken up Muay Thai, which totally loved exercise and doing karate things that they do. And he met a girl there, and everything was going well. Mitchell would go and visit her, and she would make him things to eat, stuff like that. And then one day he went to her house and she had two guys in the house at the same time.
Oh dear.
And basically, told Mitchell to get out and don't come back and things like that, which was very hurtful at the time. And, Mitchell was very upset again. Yes, so they had, stood up for her at the time, to say, you're not welcome here anymore. Don't come back, basically.
So Jenny, you've been through a lot. I don't know how you've managed to look like this. Still look after yourself out of the challenges you've been with. But let's be honest, I know there's so many of you who have gone through the same thing. And it might be hard to start with, but towards the end of it, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, because this tunnel has a light. So eventually, Mitchell meets this lovely young lady.
Yes. He was in a nightclub with one of his pals. Mitchell never told anybody that he was autistic because he didn't feel that, people would speak to him in the manner that he wanted. He would, more sympathy than anything, which he didn't want people to know. But one of his pals, he was out with one night and they met two girls, and one of his pals was acting funny. So my son apologised to the girls to say, just to let you know, this guy's autistic. So one of the girls had turned around and said, that's okay because I'm autistic as well. So then my son decided that, well, now that it's out in the open, they're all the same. He said that he was autistic. He went out with her on the Friday, and the Saturday they went out for something to eat.
Nice.
And then on the Sunday, she went away back to America. She was only here for a month studying at college here, and that was our time up. But since then, they've been Skyping for over a year now. My son went to America December last year on his own for a month and had a great time. And then she came over here in May for his birthday, and they're still in contact. And she's hoping to move to Scotland next year permanently.
Look at that. As we said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to have to be back with us because I need to know about this trip to America. And I know you also want to know about this trip, especially being the first one that Mitchell made. So tune in and join us back. And please remember to share and follow our channel so that we can reach more people out there, because these stories like this can resonate with so many people who can associate with what is going through. So kindly follow and share our channel. Thank you very much. We'll be back soon. Bye bye.